perspective. But I know as we start to bring this home, I do know, obviously, only too well that you use art as a therapy, you use art as an outlet, as a exercise in that disappearing into yourself and expressing yourself. And so how's that for you? How did that come around? And when did you realise that there was some kind of catharsism in just painting? Obviously you did drama as a kid, you did a lot of drama, as you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, with, you know, being reasonably well spoken for where we live and so on. So what did it feel like when you realised you could disappear when you were doing art and sort of get some kind of feeling back?
I don't think I really realised for a long time that was what I was doing. But I think for me, it actually ironically came from being able to use my experiences to make art, to actually share them on social media, to make other people realise that they're not on their own, because that's something I missed as a kid.
Okay, yeah, so similar to your conversation with somebody that you can have an open dialogue with, you're kind of putting it out there through that.
Yeah, and in a way, putting it through into art kind of actually depersonalises me.
Makes it more universal.
So it takes me out of it. And then someone else can look at, I don't know, like a graphic that I did, and they can be like, oh, I resonate with that. And then, and like, ironically, that was actually when I did start to think. I posted, you know, I made like an Instagram page, and I haven't posted on it for ages because I've just had no motivation to. But when I literally so quickly I didn't really expect anyone to actually have an impact on anyone. Genuinely, hand on heart, didn't.
Just doing it for yourself.
And just like a little diary. And I always used to think to myself, I really wish that there was someone out there that was on this thing that everyone's on, and they were talking about it candidly rather than talking about the fact that they have recovered and they have got over it and how amazing their life is now. Because I don't want to know how fucking amazing your life is now. I want to know how you're getting through it. Like, I would like to feel like I am not the only person in the world. Like, I see, you know, these so many people. I mean, there are people with less followers, like myself, that are amazing, and they're very they research, they're very factual in what they post. It's very helpful, resourceful. But then there are people that are like the people that do gain the big following. It's very, very aesthetically pleasing. It's very
orchestrated and manicured.
And it just felt like just that having these feelings and like struggling with body image and things like that like it almost was romantic for me. I definitely felt like that. And then I thought, well, if I start doing these pictures, because I have so many things inside my head that I would love to be able to find like-minded people without having to put myself out there too much, you know, without making myself too vulnerable, which was then the drawing. So the drawing is not me, but I've done it and I can still share how I feel without... Like, I don't know, like my nan, I think I did post something about my birthmarks. There is a picture of me on there now, but like that was the whole intention. Was I like the idea that I can be myself still. Like,
classic art as it is, expression through the page, and then, you know, the viewer takes away their own interpretation, their own narrative, their own feeling, and that's art in its most wonderful capacity for my money. And if you're getting your catharsism and it's helping you, and I say this, I've said this to you recently, Aidan, didn't I? You know, don't pick up the guitar and be desperate to learn the next fucking crazy descending whatever it is. Just play it, and then realise you've been gone for 40 minutes just playing the guitar, because that's really good for you.
Well, that's like why I think I haven't made anything recently. It's just because I haven't felt like I needed to.
Yeah, well, that's good.
It's just like, But another thing I was going to say is, I think I'm thinking about it. I think it actually started the whole like me realising it was cathartic was probably at A-level. I did a whole project on, you probably remember I painted loads of pictures of Alex, didn't I? Like pregnant and stuff. Yeah,
female form and all that.
Yeah, I did so I noticed that the things that I was seeing everywhere, on TV, on social media, in magazines, even in art galleries, was just these either extremely thin, like unattainable figures, or really big. I was never seeing like anyone over the age of 30, anyone who had children, anyone who had acne, anyone who, like, real people. I wasn't seeing real people. I was seeing like even the big people were like tiny waist, tiny toned waist, like huge curves, like just like
big bum,
I've
big
never
boobs.
seen anyone like that in my life walking down the high street. I haven't, and I probably never will. But I didn't know that. So I started to think about that more. And then my art teacher had 3 kids within like 4 years. So she really pushed me to start exploring it. And so then when I started painting like women, I started to think, like, I really enjoyed doing it. And I started to think, wow, they're like women in every form. I wish my nan had let me paint her. She wouldn't, but I really wanted to. And like, even just when we were talking about it, I realised like my nan, so sad. She was like, I've never been on the beach in a swimming costume without shorts on. And I said, why? She was like, because I don't want people to see me. But why? Because in my head, I don't look at her and think like, oh, you should never go out in a swimming costume. And I don't think anyone on this planet would ever look at her and think, well, don't go out in a swimming costume. But she's never done that.
That's interesting.
And that's
of her generation. Then.
Mind blowing for me. I was like, what? But why? And then I realised I was that person too. Like, I remember going to Mexico in 2000. I just finished my GCSEs, so probably 2015 or 16. And sitting in the room every day because I didn't want to go out in my bikini. I was so anxious about going out because it was like we were there for 3 weeks and I spent 2 of them 3 weeks in the room. Just like, I didn't have a phone, so I was watching things on YouTube. Like, I was watching the Victoria's Secret show every day.
So
just wishing that I looked like that. Yeah, God. Just so upset. And like, that's probably one of the things that, like, if I talk about it now or think about it now, me feeling like that and me being like that made me like so manipulative to a point that I don't even
in what
recognize.
Way? That's interesting. So in what way do you think? What,
not,
manipulating where you...
Not in like a classic, like, making me, like, manipulating...
Others for your benefit, but manipulating your way out of things, around things.
Yeah, so that I didn't have to be put in that position of, like... And I think
exposing yourself.
I was so good at it that I don't think anyone even noticed at the time.